Experiencing a better life through health, we go on the record with a local foundation. Their mission to ensure everyone in Palm Beach County can lead a healthy life regardless of income, education, or background.
From WPBF 25, this is On the Record with Nathalie Pozo.
Good morning. The Quantum Foundation started in 1995 and has awarded $175 million to local nonprofits. Joining me now is Eric Kelly, the president of the foundation. Eric, thanks so much for being here with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful to see you again. First off, let's talk a little bit about the mission of the Quantum Foundation.
The mission of Quantum Foundation is to fund nonprofit organizations throughout Palm Beach County to improve the health and well-being of residents.
And how do you guys do that?
Well, we work primarily, we have a team of folks at our office that work with nonprofit organizations and certain governmental entities who will provide a proposal or an idea of how they will improve the overall well-being, health and well-being of individuals. And so what we'll do is we review those proposals. We have a rubric, if you will, of how we would like to see our financing help this nonprofit organization improve the life of those living in our communities.
And where did this $175 million come from? We're talking about a lot of money here.
That is a lot of money. So our original corpus, meaning the original principle of funds, came out of the sale of JFK Hospital back in 1996, 1997. It was an initial $125 million. At the second infusion of cash, $140 million. We say we began with $140 million some 3 decades ago. Today, we continue to hold $170 million in the investment, but we every year pay out a certain amount off the investment income, and that's where the $175 million to nonprofit organizations, that's the number that we've given out now over 3 decades.
That's really incredible. And when we're talking about these organizations that are benefiting from Quantum Foundation, it's more of these grassroots kind of organizations, maybe some that you haven't necessarily heard about, but are really doing really great work in the community with the help of Quantum Foundation.
Yes, Nathalie, we actually, we have a continuum of support, and so you've experienced our Quantum in the Community breakfast, and that breakfast is all of our grassroots nonprofit organizations, so their budgets are $500,000 or less. These are your food banks. These are organizations that are volunteer-led, but we also will fund upwards to $500,000 for larger projects. But the projects that really touch the heart of those where you see individuals who may not have the resources, who are being served by the nonprofit community that we love to support at the grassroots.
We heard, we're taking some look at some video now from the breakfast. We heard from some of the organizations, the founders, and it was really moving to hear their stories and why they were up on that stage and why they started the organization. We're going to hear from some of them also later on this morning who will be on our show. What areas do you service exactly, Eric?
In terms of geography, the entire county, Palm Beach County, we are restricted to Palm Beach County. The breakfast, as a matter of fact, I don't recall if we shared the map at the breakfast, but we log all of the locations where the nonprofits serve. And so from the western communities to central West Palm Beach, north to Jupiter, south to Boca. So the entire county is covered through our funding.
And why is healthcare so important when it comes to these organizations?
We say this all the time. If you don't have your health, nothing else matters. And so healthcare, and the way we define healthcare now, Nathalie, we look at the social features that also influences our ability to be well. So, when we think about healthcare, we think about the traditional physician or nurse or some practitioner in an individual, but we also understand that where people live and the communities in which they live also influences their health. And so health is critical to our everyday ability to work, to learn, to navigate society. And so these organizations that we get to partner with throughout the year, each year, year after year, keep our community, keep our county thriving.
And Eric, at that breakfast, you said something that really made the whole room laugh. You said towards the end of your speech, and now the reason why you're all here, you can go pick up your checks at the back of the room. What does it mean to you personally when you can hand over those checks and what the organizations say to you?
Just a personal anecdote, Nathalie. I grew up economically impoverished, and so I know the feeling of a family who has everything we need internally. We have joy, we have love. We were very much loved children growing up in the housing projects, but there's something very special about organizations like the nonprofits we support when they get the resources that they need. For me, it warms my heart because I know that those dollars are passing through directly to individuals who, like me when I was a kid, are the beneficiaries. And so it warms my heart because it's not just about the nonprofit, it's about the families who will receive the ultimate care.
And when we're talking about these smaller organizations, they're really plugged into the community,
Oh, yeah.
making maybe people who who need their help or assistance feel even more comfortable, more relatable to be able to reach out.
These organizations, a lot of times, these are folks who are in the neighborhood. These are individuals who have worked in and around the neighborhoods. It starts as a passion. And it may be something that they, for one reason or another, they feel drawn to it. And there's something about a humanity of a person connecting with another humanity of a person. And the thing that I love most about my job is we really do bring humanity to the forefront of what we do. So we are a foundation. Yes, we're $170 million endowed in the financial markets. But the reality is every single dollar enlivens a humanity somewhere, brings to life someone who may have thought, you know what, it's over, no one cares, until they see this person coming in who's a partner of the foundation. Makes my heart happy. Yeah.
Oh, Eric, thank you so much for being here with us this
Yeah.
morning and sharing the story of Quantum Foundation. We're going to hear much more from organizations coming up just after this, including one local charity that benefited from the Quantum Foundation.
You're watching On the Record on WPBF 25.
Joining me now is founder Ruth Kraft and Director of Advancement Shara Hill Lavin with Community Calling. Ladies, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Ruth, we'll start with you. What is Community Calling all about?
So Community Calling started many years ago, almost 20 years ago now, in my head. And I started noticing as I was working with the community, offering doula services and lactation counseling, that there were a lot of people who could not afford the services that we offer as birth workers. And then as I started training people, I started realizing there were a lot of people who would be really good at this work who also couldn't afford the actual training to do it, because it's not a traditional school where you can get FAFSA money or anything like that. So it's all out of pocket. And so I tried to figure out a way to get all of those services and training to the people who needed them, while at the same time making the community better. So kind of through the years kind of came together, because mostly it was just me offering free services, but one can only do that for so long before you get burnout. And so I ultimately started Community Calling to hopefully find funding to be able to provide those services.
And Shara, tell us about your personal story with Community Calling.
So I started out as a recipient of the services to do the birth worker training. But actually before I started the birth worker training, I wanted to get a doula for my last pregnancy, because previous pregnancies didn't go the way that I wanted. So I applied for a scholarship and received a doula, connected with my doula. Birth was amazing, and I decided to, hey, I want to do what she did. And so I applied for the scholarship and I became a doula, and I was like, I also want to educate the community. So I applied for another scholarship and took the course for childbirth educator. I'm also a breastfeeding counselor, and I bundled all of those up, and I was like, I really want to teach classes. I really want to go forward with this. But I want other moms to know that they can do this too. So I reached out to Ruth, and she said, you can volunteer, and that blossomed into now being the Director of Advancement.
I mean, that really speaks a lot to your experience with Community Calling if you wanted to get involved the way that you are now.
Yes, and it's impactful for me because I'm seeing the change firsthand. I'm seeing those moms who come in for a scholarship, they get a doula, and they're like, it's hard for me to find work. I want to find some work where I'm still able to connect with my child. Can I apply and take the class? And so I say, yes, we'll make sure we have scholarship funding, and you can take the class and you can become a doula, start your own business, make a livable wage.
And Ruth, talk to us a little bit about the Quantum Foundation and what a foundation like that means to your organization and what you can do because of them.
Well, they offer funding, especially because they have a focus for a lot of smaller nonprofits like us, right? We don't have millions of dollars in donations, so we have to basically find different foundations who are willing to give us small amounts of money here and there as we build and grow our programs. And so this is a second year in a row that we've been able to get some funding from them that helps us pay for other expenses as well, like website maintenance and all of the other, they give us some funding that it's not like so specific we have to only use it for one thing, so we can use it for some different things, and it really helps us run, without, of course.
You have, the resources that you guys need to be able to just continue growing
Right.
as an
Right.
organization. What does it mean when you see the look on other women's faces, who are able to take part in this organization?
So for me, that means everything. It's the warm and fuzzies that you get. It's my why. I'm able to see the mom who's going to be excelling, who's able to have a successful pregnancy, a mom who's able to start a career, and so that's 100% impactful. And the reason, it's my why.
And you're talking to a lot of these moms that come to the organization and then end up making careers out of it and volunteering and working, but that you don't have to do that. You can just come and take, in the services that you guys provide. So Can you
Right.
talk to us a little bit about those?
So a mom is, let's say we have Project Pump. If my mom wants to be partnered with someone for lactation and she doesn't have pump supplies and she doesn't have what she needs to successfully breastfeed, we partner her with a breastfeeding counselor and someone who can come in, help her with measurements and just get her on track. Some moms come in and they just need someone to be there during that 4th trimester, which is a trimester of pregnancy that a lot of people don't pay attention to, and that's when moms, dads, that family actually need the most support. So we're able to provide that support to help them to continue on and thrive.
Absolutely. So what do you think the future is for Community Calling?
Hopefully we're going to keep growing. We have 4 main projects now that offer obviously the professional training and certification so that people can go out and do this work and give back to the community at the same time, because this is definitely a profession where there's great purpose in it. And so not only do you make a living wage doing it, or like that's our goal for everybody who does this work, but also you empower then the people who you're working for to also lead better lives, especially starting right in postpartum or through the birth and postpartum. So we have the different programs that we use, so we want to continue getting funding and growing those programs. And I've already started thinking of other programs I want, which is all needs-based, right? Like I noticed someone had posted something on a Facebook group yesterday about a mom who needs a postpartum doula because she knew she was going to lose her baby. And when you find out that there's some kind of genetic defect and it's not likely your baby's going to survive it, then it takes a special kind of help and support afterwards.
Special kind of person. Mhm.
That's right, to be able to work through that. And so now I started going, now I need to be able to find a program. I need to create a program to not only create the training for it, to be able to help people work through the ins and outs of that as a professional, but also to be able to pay for the support that those people need, because whether it's a miscarriage or a stillbirth or something like that, then it's kind of not talked about. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to. And how do you get support? But they still really need that support, even if they don't want to talk publicly.
Organization
and they can come
just
to
like you
us to be able to
guys.
get that kind of
Well,
support.
Ruth Sherrod, thank you so much for being here with us this
Thank you
morning
for
and talking
having
to us
us.
about your organization. Coming up next, we continue our conversations with the organization's Chariots of Love, providing wheelchairs to children. Welcome back. Joining me now is Valerie Matthew, the founder and president of Chariots of Love, along with Aurelia Merrill and her son, Jack. Jack, thanks for being here with us. You want to tell everybody how old you are? 3? 3, there you go. Thank you guys so much for being here with us this morning. Valerie, tell us about your organization.
Chariots of Love is a local nonprofit organization, and it's based on finding mobility solutions for families with children that are living with disabilities in our communities. So it's just something that I'm very passionate about, and it's so rewarding.
And why is this something that you came up with wanting to do? What was the idea behind the organization?
Actually, originally, I was following a nonprofit overseas that does something similar. And my first 2 years, I was actually supporting the international charity. And then I thought, why aren't we doing this here? We have children with disabilities here. And I just made it a decision that I'm going to try to help children in our communities. And I've learned so much business acumen, people skills, communication skills, and just open my heart to this foundation and just everything that I can do to help the children.
I think Jack wants to come out of his chair. Do we want to take him out and sit there? Do you want to sit with mommy? No. No? Okay. Talk to us a little bit about your story and how you got to know Chariots of Love.
So I'm really grateful we found Valerie in Chariots of Love. It was just a Google search in a desperate moment. Jack spent 6 weeks in a hospital in Philadelphia, and then when we returned home, he couldn't really do a lot of things that he did before as a baby. So he needed a lot of assistance just being seated and moving around, and just a lot of equipment that takes a long time to get or even apply through insurance. So it was a month's wait for us, and then we found Valerie and we drove there, the next day, and she was able to give us all the equipment that we needed, and it was just really a life-saving for us.
I mean, I can imagine as a mother that was very overwhelming, when you knew that life was going to change for you guys a little bit, and to have an organization like this that kind of just stepped up quickly and said, yeah, we're here to help.
Yeah, that was incredible. Yeah, we were so grateful and truly blessed to find them and to know that they exist, and they're there for, for us and other families as well.
Talk to us about Quantum Foundation and the relationship with them and how they're able to help your organization grow.
Quantum Foundation has been a lifesaver for us. They've been supporting Chariots of Love since 2016. And with the funding, when a family asks for a piece of mobility equipment, if it's not something I have in stock, I'm able to purchase it. Or if we have something that's been donated, I can have it refurbished and set up so that it's ideal for the candidate that needs it. And without that funding from Quantum Foundation, we wouldn't be able to do that. So it's been fabulous for us to have their support and have them believe in us, and to be able to show them what we can do, how many people in the community we've helped, how many families' lives we've changed.
And we saw Jack before we came on air here. And Jack, you move around in that wheelchair. Amazing, huh? You know how to work your way around this television station. You were going all around. He was also telling us what you got for Christmas from Santa Claus. What was your favorite gift? He got a water table, which he absolutely loved. Valerie, what do people out there need to know if they want to call Chariots of Love and need some help?
Well, they can go to our website, which is chariotsoflove.org, and there's a request form at the top. We provide wheelchairs, gait trainers, and standers for any child through the age of 21. So all they need to do is request it. If it's something we have it in stock, they can have it that day. That has happened on several occasions. If it's not something that we have in stock, and if we have the funding, we'll purchase it for them. We also fund wheelchair repairs and accessories. They need a new service tray or a new headrest, we can pay for that. And we serve through the age of 21 because that's the age you can go to school in Palm Beach County. There's organizations like the Shriners or United Way that do a similar function, and they serve through 17 and 18 years old respectively. So
you want to sit with mommy, Jack?
Come here.
So
you want to sit with mommy?
As long as the children are able to go to school, we feel that we should be assisting them in getting the maximum for their education, their mobility and their independence. It's everything, especially at a young age. Help them develop.
Really, do you have anything you want to say to other families who are maybe going through something similar?
I would say keep looking. There's options out there, and definitely don't hesitate to reach out to Valerie because they helped us in 2 different occasions. Jack had a hip surgery just last September, and then we really needed a stander, so we just reached out, and it was just there waiting for us as soon as we needed it with all the adjustments that we needed it. So just really just keep looking and contact Valerie. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Jack, thank you for coming on with us here this morning. And Valerie, thank you for everything that you and your organization are doing for the community.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you for making us a part of your morning. As always, we encourage you to be part of our discussion each and every Sunday right here at 10 a.m. Until then, you can watch this morning's On the Record and every episode on our website, WPBF.com, and our free WPBF 25 News app. Matter of fact, Soledad O'Brien is next. We'll see you again next Sunday.